He was very careless. We had tracked a credit card number, and he had purchased a plane ticket from San Francisco to Texas, and then from Texas to Cancun, Mexico.
Christian is headed south of the border. He has no idea that Special Agent Dan Clay is stationed for fugitives like him. At that time, during 2000, 2001, 2002, passports were required for Americans to Mexico. There was a high volume of fugitives who agents put Christian Longo on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. They plaster Cancun and surrounding areas with the flag. Someone will recognize Longo and call in a tip. We have suspected murderer Christian Longo has fled to Cancun, Mexico, after the bodies of his wife and three children were found on Newport Boulevard. The FBI puts him on its 10 most wanted list and covers Cancun with flyers. If you're American, a lot of times you want to have connectivity back to the United States, so we knew internet cafes would be a logical place, public transportation, taxi stands, bus depots. Sure enough, within about 48 hours, we had a sighting. A tour guide reports that he gave a man fitting Christian's description a tour just a few days earlier and dropped him off at a campground 50 miles from Cancun. Agents quietly surround the campground. They stake out the cabana and find Christian Longo enjoying his freedom under an assumed name. He did not appear to be grieving. In fact, he was in a sexual relationship with the girl who he had met. A German girl who was a freelance photographer, and he started using in the cover story that he was a freelance journalist. He's leading a double life and has no idea authorities are about to close in on him. He approached the cabana, and the Mexican police walked in and pulled him out. I identified myself as FBI. He said his name was Michael, and I said, Christian Michael Longo, right? And I held up the flyer and showed it to him, and he acknowledged yes. Go. Christian, he's finally arrested without incident. FBI Special Agent Dan Clegg lays it on the line for Christian Longo. He can voluntarily agree to come back to the U.S., or he can fight extradition from a Mexican jail cell. I looked at him and I said, you choose. It's your choice. He was terrified of the prospect of being trapped in Mexican jail. Christian Longo agrees to return to the United States. With little hard evidence linking Longo to the crime, Special Agent Clegg needs confession. He begins to question Longo the moment the plane leaves Mexican soil. The purpose of my conversation with Longo was to get him to admit and tell the story. What happened to his wife and kids? One of the kids was found in a suitcase. But Longo won't admit to killing his family and veils his responses in religious overtones. We had kind of a deep discussion about his beliefs, where people go after they die. And he explained to me that in his beliefs, they go to sleep. And I said, is that where your family is right now? And he says, yes, they're in a state of sleep. And I asked him, why did you do that? He said, I wanted them to be in a better place. That was as close as a confession or an admission that he came. Christian appears to have a change of heart. In February 2003, just 1 month before his capital murder trial. He surprises authorities by pleading guilty to murdering his wife, Mary Jane, and their youngest daughter, Madison. He refuses to tell the judge how or why he killed them, and maintains that he didn't kill Zachary and Sadie.
Avoid the death penalty or it was some legal ploy, but it was, to us, it was just white noise. It was just more.
The highly publicized trial begins on March 10, 2003. Mary Jane's family isn't sure what to expect.
There was never a 100% feeling that he was going to get convicted. We were always worried that he might walk away, not because of the evidence, but because Chris is such a good con artist.
When Christian takes a stand, he tells the jury that he came home to find Zachary and Sadie dead at the hands of Mary Jane.
He said that Mary Jane had come home in a rage and that she had killed Zachary and Sadie and that she put him somewhere in the water.
Longo claims he then strangled his wife out of anger. He says baby Madison was struggling for her last breath, so he finished the job.
He drugged Mary Jane through the mud and said she killed the 2 older kids. He couldn't just let her rest in peace. He had to drag her in through the mud again and say she was not going to kill her children. Right there in front of all the whole world.
He's arrogant without a doubt. And he was going to convince that jury that they had it all wrong, the prosecution had it all wrong.
The jury doesn't buy Christian's story and convicts him on 4 counts of aggravated murder.
Mary Jane and the children got the justice they deserved, yes. He didn't walk away. That was the relief.
1 week later, Christian is given the death penalty.
He stood up to make a comment to the court, and he said, I'll never forget the words. He said, this is a wake-up call for me. And I felt that sums up the mentality of this man.
No, he's just a liar and a conniver. Just out for number 1. Christian later admits in a jailhouse interview that he deliberately killed his whole family because he was financially ruined and didn't want them to witness his failure. He tells the journalist that he had decided to kill Mary Jane just hours before the 2 of them made love. He realized it was the perfect opportunity and strangled her.
He kills Mary Jane. He puts her in a suitcase. He kills Madison. He puts her in a suitcase. Her suitcase had clothing and a diamond ring. He takes those suitcases and he takes them down to the docks. He puts them in the water.
Miguel!
He goes back up to his car. He takes those children and he puts them in a car and he drives them to Walport. He gets to the Watson Bridge and he stops on the side of the
Kain ka na?
bridge.
Linisan na lang. Sige, linisan.
Wala pa eh. Magluto na ako. Mag-biscuit ka muna. Ito na rin to. Kiss mo na.
After he throws the children off, he is contacted by a good Samaritan thinking that he is having enough trouble with it.
Moments after
Baka mo?
drowning his children, Christian once again calms his way out of trouble.
Chris says it's some sort of like he
Hindi
on
na
his car.
apple lang.
He's like waiting it out.
Ah.
And then
May
he
pili yun.
has his band, comes back home and goes to a Christmas party.
Magluto ka na? Bebe,
Christian
nagugutom ka na.
awaits execution on
Hindi pa
death.
naman, di ba? Si Kuya Jan lang gutom na.
In early 2011, he attempted to become an organ donor, claiming it would be penance for his hateful acts.
He's saying that he's willing to waive his appeals on the condition that he can donate his trying to justify
Ang
it.
dami
There's-
namang
You
kinasal.
shouldn't even be able to talk to
Luto ko na!
public. You shouldn't be able to go on the internet. You shouldn't do nothing.
Sobrang
You
dami.
shouldn't be doing
Oregon officials denied Christian Longo's request.
Loan up to 25,000 pesos ang pwedeng mahiram? Where? Pwede mahiram kahit one valid ID.
Where?
The FBI is the most sophisticated law enforcement agency in the world, pursuing the most dangerous criminals. In California, when a young girl vanishes,
police see the kids who were sticking across the trailer park going to her house and something catches their attention.
the Bureau mobilizes.
You had sexual deviants living in the trailer park. You had other weirdos living in the trailer park.
What are the odds of Sandra still being alive?
FBI. Criminal pursuit. March 27th, 2009. In the blue-collar town of Tracy, California, 8-year-old Sandra Kenton heads home after school. The second grader makes her usual afternoon rounds, knocking on doors and looking for playmates in her mobile home park.
American Bio, okay?
There's only 100 people that live here, so it's very close-knit community. All the residents here know each other and pretty much trust each other.
Hours pass, and Sandra doesn't come home for supper. Mother Maria worries. She begins calling her daughter's friends.
Hi, Kathleen, this is Maria. Have you seen Sandra?
No one has seen Sandra for hours.
Okay.
Maria always told the kids not to go outside the trailer park, and the kids never did. So when she went looking for her and couldn't find her, she knew something was wrong.
Just before 8 p.m., Maria calls the Tracy Police Department.
Well, I have a missing daughter. Okay, how old is she? She's 8. When's the last time you saw her? Oh, about 3. She told me she was going over to this one girl's to play, and she wasn't home. And I went looking all over.
There's a 72% chance of finding a missing child in the first several hours. After that, every hour that passes, it drops off.
It's a statistic Tracy's new police chief, Janet Teesey, can't stop thinking about. Though she's been with Tracy PD for less than 2 months, the chief is a veteran of law enforcement, and she's afraid for Sandra's life.
Statistics tell us if a child has actually been abducted, whether it's a known person or unknown, the likelihood that that child will be murdered is most often going to happen in those first 3 hours.
I'm losing
The
weight
police
to
get a detailed description
try.
of Sandra and what she was wearing. They learn that Sandra lives with her mother, grandparents, and 3 older siblings. Everyone was home that afternoon, but no one saw Sandra playing outside. There was just one witness. A surveillance camera Sandra's grandfather had installed outside the family home to prevent vandalism. Lens captured Sandra's movements at 4 p.m. right before
Green
she
fish.
vanished.
Sandra had the little Hello Kitty pink t-shirt on, looked like black leggings. This was the last that we knew she was in the mobile home park. So that was pretty important for us. It really helped us lock down that time frame.
Hours have passed since Sandra disappeared, but there is no sign of the little girl.
It's the worst thing imaginable. You have this horrible feeling in your gut that something's terribly wrong, and you don't know what it is.
A mother of two, Chief Thiessen empathizes with the family's growing anxiety.
It's just heart-wrenching, and we have a job to do. We have to move forward through it. But I think there's that human side of all of us that we think in the back of our mind, is this going to be that time that it's bad?
As dawn breaks, volunteers canvass the neighborhood, desperately searching for Sandra. With no known suspect or vehicle description, Tracy police are stumped. They issue an urgent bulletin on a missing child, which alerts the FBI's Child Abduction Rapid Deployment Unit, or CARD. Comprised of the world's leading experts on child abduction, the CARD unit can mobilize anywhere in the country within 4 hours. Team leader, Special Agent Joseph Brine, and his colleagues rush to Tracy as soon as they get
Ba't ka kasi nandito? Nahihirapan ako. Hindi. Kainin mo na yan.
Manito.
Yun na si Daddy. Sa'yo na yan. Sa'yo na lang yan.
Kain ko lang yung green peas.
Masarap din tong iba.
Ayoko yung... Mane.
Dingdong yan eh.
Ano to?
Dingdong.
Corn ba to?
Corn. Ito rin corn, no? Tikman mo.
Ayoko.
Bakit ka na na? Tatawagin na lang kita pag